Boom! What's up, folks? Today we're going to be taking this gas tank off this Cub Cadet, replacing the rotted fuel line, and putting a new gas filter on here, fuel filter. This mower I bought new from Tractor Supply back in 2000, so it has been a battle horse. As you can see, it's been through quite a bit. So I started having problems last year. The fuel line started leaking after 19 years. You know, they just don't make stuff like they used to, right? Go figure. So I spliced it last year and it worked for a little while. But the first time mow this year, it just didn't want to run. And I knew, and it was started leaking again. So I knew I needed to replace that whole line. So this is a job I dreaded. And it's one of those jobs that turned out to be a lot easier than I thought. Took me about 45 minutes to an hour to do this. And I was pleasantly surprised. If I'd known it'd been that easy, I'd done it last year. But sometimes we talk ourselves into that something's a lot worse than what it actually ends up being. So, having said that, I got 7 foot of 1/4 inch gas line from my parts guy. Got a new fuel filter, and I went to town. So the first thing we're going to do is going to take the seat off. You're going to need, for this job, I think I used a 9/16, a 1/2 inch, and a 7/16 socket and wrenches, and a BFS, which in my case is a big freaking screwdriver. It's also my key to start it. You'll see later too. So, like I said, the first thing you're going to do, you're going to want to take the seat off, and these 2 bolts right here are the ones you're going to take off. Now, I think these are 9/16 and 1/2 inch. And then there's 6 bolts holding this cowling on, 2 at the back, and 2 under the rubber foot pads on front. These foot pads are just in there with little grommets, and there's the 2 right there. You're going to take those off, 2 on each side. Now, if your seat disconnect is still connected, you're going to unclip it. You see, I took mine apart and deleted it. So these I use socket and a wrench to get these 6 bolts off, and this one's been on for 20 years. They're on there pretty good. You'll be best to start maybe the night before with some penetrating oil on those nuts and give you a little leeway there. But these are all right. Once you get those off, you're going to take the drive pedal and the brake pedal off. I think those were 9/16 wrenches. They are actually pretty easy. Then take your gas cap off, and this you're going to lift up on the back. Get this boot off. This boot has 4 tiny screws underneath. I thought it was just clipped in there, so I broke those 2 mounts off, but that's fine. Once you get it loose, raise up on the back, all the way up. This is really a 2-person job, but bring your deck all the way up so that lever will be out of the way, and bring that cowling all the way up, and you slide it off or pick it up, whatever. I slid it off here. I was just trying to get it out of the way. And once you do that, then your tank's going to be free. And 20 years of built up mowing. Boy, I used to mow 5 acres with this thing. It was rough. Had a lot of red oaks, but this old mower has been through it. So your neck is on the bottom. You got a little spring clamp. You'll have to take that off. My other problem here, besides the rotted fuel line, was that there was some trash in that neck, stopping up the fuel flow, or reducing the fuel flow. So yeah, this just needed to be done. I'm glad I did it now. Wish I'd done it a lot sooner. But once you slide that spring clamp down, you can just twist that hose off. Make sure you clean out your tank. I had just a little bit of trash, even a big old dead fly in there. I guess after 20 years, you'll get a little bit in there. So once you get this off, mine was already, since I'd cut the filter off and took it in town to make sure I got the right stuff, it was already off. So all I had to do was just pull it. There are zip ties in the channel that hold it against the channel. You'll probably have to cut those. and put new zip ties on. You do want to zip tie it to the channel. There's the old hose. You can see where it's leaking, and it's just pretty nasty. See the little holes in that, and it was due. It was due. Should have done it last year, but I just put that splice in there. So now I'm putting the new hose on. Don't forget to put your spring clamp on the hose first, or you'll be redoing this part of it. I'm kind of in a hurry. It's been raining almost every day. Finally got 2 days of sun. My yard dried out just a little bit, and here comes more severe weather this afternoon. So I want to get this done so I can mow the 1.5 acres now and get it done, because you can see how high it is. So make sure you pay attention to how your old fuel line runs and run your new one back the same way. If you don't, those levers or all that moving parts in there can pinch them and put you a new hole in, put a hole in your new fuel line. So this runs along the rail, inside the rail, runs all the way up towards the front. And when I'm done, I'm going to come back and zip tie it to the rail so it doesn't move. And this goes in front of that shield. You can see it there on the right side. Then cuts across and has some foam insulation around it right there. I believe that's a heat shield or anti-vibration shield or something. You can see it right there. Just make sure your line runs where the old one did. Put the insulation, the heat guard, whatever that is, back on the line, and you'll be ready. My old bolts, I put some Mobile One oil on them so they'll go back easier. And here I am zip tying that fuel line to the rail before letting them old bolts, rusted bolts, setting that oil. The cowling goes in, same way it come off. You got to tip it forward, slide it down past your deck lever, and she should slide right back into place. Again, sure would be nice to have a little help. Get her on there. These bolts go right back the way they came out. Now, when I took them out, I thought there was a rubber washer underneath. I pulled it. It's not. It's a grommet. It's an isolator with a ferrule running through it. So don't pull them off because they belong there. Put your gas cap back on. Put your seat back on. Everything just goes right back the way you took it off. This is, like I said, a very simple job. And put your brake pedal on, your drive pedal. They're real easy. Like I said, just pay attention how they come off. There's only one way to go on. And then we're getting ready to put the cut the hose and put the fuel filter on. And I got the hose pulled through. You can see my fuel line. You're replacing a fuel line, replace your fuel filter. The big flat part goes towards the front on this one. There's usually an arrow tells you which way the flow is. Luckily, it came with some new spring rings. And I'll get this all cut off, get this on there. It's pretty simple. Forgot my little rubber guard there on my footrest. But we're about ready to get this show on the road right here. Like I said, it is this simple. So once I get all that in place, I use my BFS to get my lawnmower started off the starter. Oh yeah, hear her purr. This thing ran like a scolded cat after that. And this, folks, coming up is why you don't disconnect your seat. Safety. Woohoo! So anyway, there she is.